Yeah, no, I don't.
They have the best. They have #1 draft choices every year. People leaving early, and they can't even have a winning season. I'm all in. I hope you're right. I should be an optimist because the candidacy you got to. I'm focusing all my optimism on. How are you, sir? Tell me about the shirt.
Tell me about the practical joke that you played on your brother, George W., in December 2000. I had read that you had given him a Palm Beach County voting.
Oh, well, that wasn't a joke. That was a vote. Yeah, the Votomatics. Those I gave it to him for his library.
Oh, okay. Well, I had heard that you had presented him.
He may not have appreciated it as much as I spent the time to get it. It's hard to find.
But the rest of the family just roared in laughter, is what I did.
I don't remember, but it could have been true. It's in the library right now.
Sammy's right there. Thank you.
Nomination. Of course. A very short introduction. Of course, Governor Bush was the governor of Florida from 1999 to 2007. Governor Bush, welcome to the Register Soapbox.
Thank you so much. Thank you all very much. What a joy to be here. I believe we're on the verge of the greatest time to be alive, but here's the problem. Our government doesn't work like it needs to work. The gridlock in Washington makes it harder for people to rise up. More people are living in poverty today, 6 million more people than the day that Barack Obama got elected president. The middle class in a recovery has declining income. 6.5 million people are working part-time, and most of them want to work full-time. Workforce participation rates are lower today than they were in 1977. And for the first time in American history, businesses are closing at a rate faster than they're opening. This is not the America that will lead the world. This is not the America that will make sure that children will have more opportunities than their parents. What we need to do is restore the right to rise in this country by fixing a few really big complex things that we've allowed to languish for too long. We have serious, serious problems. We need to embrace the energy revolution in our country to be energy secure with North American resources in a short period of time, with American ingenuity, American innovation, and American technology. And we have to have the courage to preserve and protect our entitlement systems for sure, but recognize that the world has changed, that we're aging far longer, that the system was designed in a different space and time. We need to find a consensus to preserve what we have, but then make sure that we can make sure it exists for the next generation. If we do those things, our budget would be moved towards surplus, and we would grow our economy far faster than 2%. People would be lifted out of poverty, and the great middle of our country that defines who we are would get a pay raise for the first time in a long, long time. And that's what we should be doing, because I was a governor, a reform-minded governor, that improved things. Our income grew at 4.5%, 4.4% every year. We could grow our economy far faster, and it would lift people's spirits up. But we have to fix these things in Washington, and right now we have a president that pushes down anybody that disagrees with him, and he elevates himself with this sophisticated, nuanced view, and the net result is nothing gets done. Nothing gets done, but it can. We can fix this. And if we do, we'll have more confidence to lead the world again. The United States plays a constructive role in the world by being the ally of our friends, where they know that we have their back. And having our enemies fear us a little bit, that's how you create a more peaceful world. When you pull back, voids are filled. And sadly today, we have a void that has been filled, a caliphate the size larger than Iowa. Thousands and thousands of trained forces organized to destroy Western civilization. I'm not exaggerating. Today, the FBI director says the thing that keeps him up at night are homegrown terrorists. They're inspired by ISIS. We should be taking out ISIS. We should have a strategy to deal with ISIS rather than admit that we don't have one. Each and every day that they exist, They gain more power. They recruit more people. The next president of the United States, if I'm president, we will have a strategy on day one to take out this grave threat to our national security and to the world. I promise you that. I don't know about you. Put aside your ideologies just for a brief moment. Do you think that the federal government is operating in a way that shows respect for the taxpayers of this country? No! A hospital in Denver is being built. It was supposed to cost $200 million. Now the Veterans Department has to come to Congress to ask for enough money to spend $1.8 billion to build a hospital for the greatest military men and women that are retired and are deserving of this service. That is ludicrous. People don't get fired anymore in Washington, D.C. How about the Office of Policy Personnel Management? In charge of the Human Resource Office, in effect, the HR office of the federal government. 22 million files have been taken allegedly by the Chinese. Even though the Inspector General of that same department said, be careful, we don't have the cybersecurity necessary to protect our servers. Even though that came about, nothing happened, and the net result is that classified information that allows for security clearances is now in the hands of the Chinese. Put aside your ideology. I hope you want a president that will roll up their sleeves and fix these broken systems, for crying out loud, to make sure that we serve the people. No more $800 million healthcare.gov websites. No more cost overruns in the Defense Department and all these other places. We need a competent leader that will accept responsibility to fix these things. And I believe that I'm the guy to do it. I humbly ask for your support, and here's my deal. I'm a Republican, and I'm a proud conservative, and I have a record of reform that is unmatched of anybody running. But I believe in order to fix these things, we need to come together as a nation. I'm tired of the divides. I respect people that don't agree with me. It's okay to disagree with me. I don't ascribe bad motives for people that disagree with me. They may be wrong. That's fine. We'll have a lively debate. But we need to forge consensus again to fix how we tax, how we regulate, how we restore the military, how we restore our intelligence capability. We need to build a bipartisan consensus again as it relates to foreign policy. So I campaign the way that I would govern. Out amongst everybody, no rope lines. Totally out in the open. I campaign in the Latino communities in Spanish, asking them to join our cause. I campaign in the African American communities, saying, join us because we believe in education reform so your children can be lifted up. On college campuses, amongst Republicans and independents and Democrats alike. If they don't like my views, I respect that, but they know that I have a heart for them. The next president is going to have to unite this country, and I'm going to campaign in a way that sends the signal, enough of this divide, we need to fix things in Washington, D.C. Thank you all very much. Why do I support my brother's? I don't. It would have made sense back then. Now we're way beyond that. What we need to do is to reform Social Security, to preserve it and protect it for those that already have it, and to reform it in the logical ways where there's broad bipartisan consensus, which is to, over an extended period of time, raise the retirement age and raise the limit, the income cap limit. You can solve Social Security that way. That's it.
You're fighting against ISIS. You said you get more involved in Iraq. Are you doing more in Iraq? Will we be welcomed as liberators again or not?
The question, I assume I already heard it. Right now we have 3,500 soldiers and Marines in Iraq already. We have no strategy. It kind of creeps up. We're responding incrementally to the challenges that exist rather than having a strategy. I would take the advice of the commanders in the field. And what I've heard from the advisors is, first of all, the Iraqis want our help. They want to know that we have skin in the game, that we're committed to this. We don't have to...
out in 2011.
Excuse me?
We had to get out in 2011.
We didn't have to get out in 2011.
Your brother signed the deal.
It could have been modified, and that was the expectation. Everybody in Iraq and everybody in Washington knew that this deal could have been expanded. And now what we need to do... Now we need to do something else, which is to deal with the fact that we have Islamic terrorists organized as a caliphate, and the way that you take them out is to rebuild the Iraqi military, provide arms and support for the Kurdish Peshmerga, to re-engage with the Sunnis, to be able to have a strategy to take...
Active advisor.
Paul Wolfowitz is providing some advice. I get most of my advice from a team that we have in Miami, Florida, young people that are going to be, they're not assigned, have experience in either in Congress or in the previous administration. This game, the parlor game that's played, you know, where you have 25, 30, or 40 people that are helping you with foreign policy, and if they have any executive experience, they've had to deal with 2 Republican administrations. Who were the people that were presidents, the last 2 Republican? I mean, this is kind of a tough game for me to be playing, to be honest with you. I'm my own person. I just gave a speech at the Reagan Library. I urge you to take a look at that to get a sense of my views about how this stuff should work. Yes, sir.
Governor Bush, like you, I consider myself a public servant. I used to run the state youth council here in Iowa. I just went to Boys State, just went to Boys Nation a few weeks ago. But I feel like our young voices aren't being heard at the federal level. We have youth councils at local levels, state levels. You can serve on boards. As president, would you be open to the idea of creating a presidential youth council to inform members of Congress, yourself and the executive branch if elected, and various department heads?
That's a great idea. I haven't ever heard it before, so here's the deal. My email address, write it down and send me your thoughts, jeb@jeb.org. By the way, I just gave out my email address. It's exactly what I did when I was governor of the state of Florida. I released all my emails. I'm writing an e-book about my emails. I think we need a lot more transparency in politics today. We'll get someone...
He's going to be flipping from this side. I'm like,
Let's take a step back. Be like, oh, really? That's what you call.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Where are we looking?
Hey, Will. Will, come up there and take some pictures.
How are you doing? Nice to see you.
Hey, Ron Mayers.
How are you? Good to see you. Everything good? So far, I've had two food items, and the pork chop was.
I know, but I can't see him because you're.
This has been what's kept me going this week.
You do a bacon on the rib. Bacon wrap.
This hamburger right here, this pork burger with cheese and bacon inside of it. The cheese with bacon. Well, look, the only way to be on a diet is to cheat. Because if not, you end up with slurs that destroys the health. Those where people are 40% of the immigrants come with a legal visa. They come to our airports like everybody else, and they stay. They're overstayers. So that's a totally different strategy. There we should coordinate with local law enforcement. So someone in Denver or someone in Orlando that has overstayed their visa, we should deputize law enforcement to be able to help with that. Third, we need an e-verify system. So if business here in Iowa is hiring people and they have no ability to know whether someone's legal or illegal, they have to forge social security documents, there ought to be a way that's verifiable for them to know that when they're hiring someone, that person is here legally. And then for the people that are here illegally, they should get a provisional work permit. They should pay a small fine. They should pay taxes, of course. They should learn English along the way, which many do. And they should not receive federal government assistance. And over an extended period of time, they get legal status. Not a green card that would allow them to become a citizen, but they get legal status. They don't cut in the line from people that are just patiently waiting to be citizens. The other plan that I've heard, or just round them all up kind of plan, which is occasionally brought up in debates, according to a conservative think tank, it costs $400 to $600 million and take 10 to 20 years. It can be really disruptive in a lot of communities. So I think the practical way is the way I described it. Great question. Everything going well? I'm still leading the charge on the third grade reading initiative. Fantastic.
STEM.
You know what STEM is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, just check.
Made their commercial.
Crazy IQ of the press here.
Nice. Hey, one question about manufacturing, Governor. What's your plans on creating more manufacturing in the United States, as well as rebuilding our infrastructure?
Better training, lower taxes, less regulation, embrace the energy revolution. We can reindustrialize the country. We'll lead the world.
Thank you, Governor.
Did that in 10 seconds. I'm practicing for the next debate.
You're awesome.
Get out of your way. Love you.
God bless
Guys, just give him a little
Thank you. Thanks a lot. What's going on? Thank you so much. Thanks for your help. We need help too.